Yeah, the farmer there is burning all his old hay bales. Or straw bales, I'm not sure which is which now, but he's got them all up and down that ditch, and he's burning along all the weeds too along the ditch bank. It's just something that's just a occurrence around here, nothing to be alarmed about. He's parked over there by the tree watching it, so he's making sure it's not going to get out of control. Smell like burning weeds tonight. And we know it's spring here. Farmers are out working the potato fields and the swallows are back. It's a good sign. Well, it's May 1st. I know it's been a while since we've made a video, but when we live in Idaho, I got a crazy dog over here tangled up in a willow branch, but she's down there just chewing away on it. She had that wrapped around her somehow and couldn't get out of it, but well, they're all happy to get out. We're also joined by the two little ones. We got Bambi and the white dog Storm. But anyways, we thought we'd come down here between the two big canals, see if there's any asparagus ready. We might be a little too late. We've been foraging up a few of them now and then, but I don't think anybody's been down this canal bank. So what we might find might be a little overgrown. And just as I'm saying that, here comes somebody walking down the bank with their dogs. But anyways, let's see what this canal bank has to offer us for some kind of a food. I mean, we're not out hunting or fishing, but it's almost just as exciting in the springtime to find all this stuff growing. So we'll take a drive down here and let's see what we can find. Yeah, right off the bat, we found a few. I'd say they're a little big. We'll cut them off and they'll regrow, and make sure we make a mental note of where they're growing at. We'll come back and get some more later. That one there is just the right size. Yeah, that big old pokey plant there's a big old bull thistle. You wouldn't know it, but it's edible as well. I like to get them later in the year when the stalk's starting to grow up, and you just kind of peel off all the little stickers on the side and munch away on that fresh green stalk. Kind of has a taste like cucumber. And then this thing, everybody should know what it is. The old dandelion. One of the most useful plants there is. Yeah, if you don't know what the benefits of dandelions are, everything about them is edible and very medicinal. I couldn't name off all the medicinal qualities right now off the back of my head, but I know they are just about, they're good for every part of your body. And they actually taste pretty good. Now this here is burdock. The root is very good. Great big huge roots. But we probably all know burdock. It kind of grows up pretty tall and has some pretty little purple flowers on it. Then of course they turn into big old burrs that kind of resemble cockleburrs. But it is a good plant despite that. But heck, you know, we just barely got here and we've already found a bunch of stuff. Got old Suki up there with her stick again. And that little Bambi. She don't make it out much, but now that the weather's warmed up, she's gonna be coming along on everything with us. Now these big canals, we always called them the twin canals, but I believe one's the new Lavaside Canal and the People's Canal. These two canals are responsible for watering a huge section of the Snake River agricultural valleys here. Without the water of these, we wouldn't be growing all the potatoes and wheat and barley and sugar beets that we grow in this area. Now, I'm not sure what year these things were made. I had I believe it was my great-grandfather, or it could have been my grandfather. But they worked on these canals. And in those days, everything was done manually. Teams of horses with big blades and men with shovels is what created these. In today's times, you don't think nothing of them driving by. You just, you know, thought some kind of heavy machinery made it, but quite the undertaking back in the days. big old pile of brush here. For those of you that irrigate, through canal systems, you instantly know what it is, but this is just all the old weeds and sticks and everything else float down the canal and get clogged up on your head gates, and you have to come shovel it all out. Looks like they just piled it up here on the bank. See all the little shells in there. I know that's not the best picture of it, the shadows there, but that stuff all floats down, and say it gets right up in your head gates. As you see these little pipes, that's probably where they cleaned it out. All these little pipes here are carrying water across the canal. It comes out over here, and they probably they got it cleaned out of there. Yeah, we found our first patch of asparagus, but as you can see, it's pretty well overgrown. Yeah, we'll just cut these down. And they'll regrow again. So if you cut these off, they'll all regrow. This one got froze at one time. The top's all messed up. Also, cutting them off like this keeps other asparagus hunters from finding your patches. Although anybody that's hunted this stuff knows what to look for, so yeah, that stuff's pretty tough. There are a few smaller ones here that are good to go. Couple little tiny buggers here just coming up. Give them 3 or 4 days and they'll be ready to harvest. We got another patch right there. That bank is steep, and that's the last thing I want to do is slide down in there into the water. I'm not seeing nothing poking up from that patch yet. So let's continue on down the road. That goofy dog. She just about went in. Trying to run this new camera I got, it's kind of a pain in the butt. I think once I get used to it, it'll probably be okay, but well, look at that dog go. These little plants right here is, trying to remember the name of them. Seems like everything's right there on the tip of your tongue, but you can't remember it. But anyways, they grow out to be like a great big dandelion. And I don't know why that won't come to mind. Sweet gum or something. No, it's not sweet gum. But anyways, if you pick them before that big head turns to the old dandelion look like thing, you know, the big puffball. If you get that way before that, They're actually really sweet and good. I just wish I could remember the name of it. Well, about all we do, we just drive along slow and look for asparagus growing up. The dogs are all trying to jockey for their positions. Since Suki's new to this, she's on the floor right now. But she does get up and stick her head out the window when the storm lets her. Just kind of nice that she's adapted riding in this thing so early. Yeah, nothing up on that one. Boy, it sure is greened up, feeling nice. Garden's starting to grow a little. Had to get all the tomatoes, peppers, and everything put out under some frost covers because we're getting ready to head up the hills here. We won't be able to be back in time to get them back in the ground when they should, so we'll start them early. Kind of getting excited to get back up there in the mountains and riding some trails and cooking in the pie irons and Dutch ovens and sitting around a campfire. I think the dogs are ready for it too. Well, we got two patches here, but everything looks overgrown again. Let's go see what we can salvage out of there. Yeah, there's a boy, hoping you can hear me over this wind that came up, but There's a big asparagus. A little too tall, but we'll take what we can out of it. They don't fall off this canal bank. This stuff's steeper than it looks. Pretty good size one. I keep my black dog from eating it. We got a couple more here. Now there's about kind of hard to do this one-handed. That tall plant there is mullein. That is another really good, useful plant to know. This is last year's plant, but it is really good for your respiratory system, for, you know, if you got a flu or bronchitis or something, you know, any kind of a respiratory infection or anything like that, pneumonia. You can drink it as a tea, or you can light it up kind of like incense, or actually smoke it, and it'll relieve your congestion. Yeah, she just had a guy and 3 dogs walk by on the opposite bank. She's letting the world know that this is her territory, I guess. Well, let's get back to picking asparagus. Well, there's our next patch, but still got that dog over there baying. Anyways, you can see how steep that bank is. I just about didn't make it up from that last patch we got. The time you take a step up that would fall that back down, you're just taking 1 step forward and 2 steps back. We did get a pretty good sized bag of asparagus. Let me turn this camera around and show you. There's quite a bit in there. That's only probably a quarter of the patches I've seen. I got tired of picking them. So I've got a little robin right there. She's got to have a nest down in there somewhere. Suki's trying to get it. I've got a Suki dog that found something over there. We'll go see what she's got. Might have been a little water snake, or who knows what she found there, but Nothing cool, anyways. So anyways, we got a little 3D archery shoot coming up here in the next couple days. Maybe the morel mushrooms are out. But until next time, see you later.